Welcome to my channel, where we question everything. Today's topic is bits and pieces, and our famous lady is back on the scene. And here I'm referring to Greta Thunberg, and well, apparently she's going to sue the Swedish government for not doing enough to curb or prevent climate change. Well, according to the news source, about 600 young students or Swedish persons or group of young people held a rally or a march on Friday, and they were on their way to the Stockholm District Court, and they were planning to sue the Swedish government. And then, naturally, our famous lady, Greta, joined them. And they have now a class action suit against the Swedish government. And the argument is that the group wants the judiciary to rule that Sweden has violated the citizens' human rights by pursuing inadequate climate policies. Now, I'm not totally sure how you can measure something, whether it is enough or inadequate, but that is the case is going to be made. And according to Greta, and I quote, we are 636 young people in Aurora who are suing the Swedish state for insufficient climate action. She also added that when the state carries out climatic policy that threatens our human rights, it breaks the law. Well, again, I don't see how the state basically can break the law in that respect, because how are you going to measure it? How are you going to compare it against what? Well, before they started this march or started this legal proceedings, the Aurora group wrote an open letter addressed to several high-ranking Swedish officials, including the Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson and Climate Minister Romina Pourmokhtari. If I remember correctly, and if you remember correctly, the Swedish government was recently replaced by an election process, and we are seeing a little bit more right-wing type of policies. So probably that is what stimulated Greta and her comrades in arms. In any case, this group, in their letter, demanded, among other things, that Sweden takes a fair share in reducing greenhouse gas emissions in order to limit the increase in the global average temperature to 1.5 degrees, as compared to the pre-industrial levels. Well, according to the climate law adopted by Sweden in 2017, the nation's authorities had a duty to do their best to curb emissions of greenhouse gases and to reach net zero by 2045. Now, if you do your calculations right, that's still 23 years off. So again, how are you going to prove it? How are you going to measure it? Currently, we only have computer models that predict certain things. So, well, 23 years is a long time. And if you look at the Russian or the European sanctions on Russia, maybe it will be reached in any case by natural process of deindustrialization. Well, then a little bit of tidbit. Apparently in 2019, the Netherlands Supreme Court upheld a ruling that ordered the nation's government to do much more to cut carbon emissions, insisting that it is obliged to protect its citizens' human rights in the face of climate change. So it's not only Sweden, it is now the Netherlands as well. that, well, Netherlands has done it a couple of years back. But I like democracy. We now have people power back. And we don't have real people power back. We have children power back. So, go children. Now, I don't understand how the world can actually tolerate this pressure from children. I mean, these are school kids. Most of them are in their puberty years. And even in their puberty years, they don't know, they are trying to find their identity. They're trying to find out who they are. They are actually stranded between being a child and being a grown-up. And becoming a grown-up is still a long way to go. I mean, there are laws, election laws, that limit the age at which children can vote. And there's a reason for that. Children of that age are not capable of making rational decisions. It doesn't matter how much they read. They can be bamboozled and indoctrinated and manipulated fairly easy. It's like, it's like, well, I think I mentioned before, I actually did life saving when I was younger. And in South Africa, we had a certain group called Sien Sant. And the leader of the group was Sparks Esthuizen. And he was a real Rambo type. He apparently went ivory hunting and ivory poaching. He was a semi-mercenary for a while. He was a smuggler. He dated one of the South Africa finalists, etc. Typical real Marada. And he always told us, once we sat around the campfire, and he said, give me a platoon or a company of 19-year-olds that will conquer the world. And the reason why I said that, we were about 17 years at that stage. He said, you don't think. You cannot think for yourself. At that age, you do what you are told and you follow blindly the instructions of older people. And these young guys are people like gullible. And I've seen it with my friends that went to the army directly after school. But we are living in a new age, in a work world, where grown-ups are subservient to children. And if I sometimes I watch a lot of European television series and so on. And especially sometimes Dean TV and Swedish and Norwegian type of TV series. And if I look at how the children act towards their parents and show very little respect, and then the parents sort of cringe and allow these children to act freely, I was actually shocked. And now I understand why the world is as it is in the West. Wokeness and children has overtaken them. Anyway, guys, that's my story for today. I thought I'd make a short video, and I'm going to change the bit for pieces format a little bit, cover a single topic, and hope to make videos that are not longer than 10 minutes. So if you read the hearing and you want to listen, it's a short introduction. And if you don't want to read it, then you can skip it. It's fine. It's not a problem. So subscribe to the channel, share the link, tell your friends, and until next time, cheers.